As promised, I am going to explain the whole hunter thing in the video because the only place that I ever sat down and explained why I did it was on the exis-rs.info website, which is sadly no longer with us, and I didn't have a backup of what I typed up on there, so I figured, I may as well toss out why I haven't trained my hunter this whole time. Whole story starts right back near to when I first started playing old school. I didn't have much experience with the game in general. I'd never been a member before, never trained member skills, including hunter. And so when I first started, I was just really enjoying trying out those different skills and going for 99s in them because it seemed like a cool thing to do. The first one I went for, just because how simple it seemed, was thieving. I did that in about 2 weeks or so. Bought my cape, and then after I bought my cape, I found out that you could trim the skill capes. So I was quite excited to do that and went for 99 agility because that seemed like an overall pretty useful skill. And again, it wasn't a skill that I'd ever trained before, so I was, looking forward to doing it. And then I think that took about a month and a half or something, and maybe 2. And as I was getting closer and closer to 99, I started to think about sort of like what skill I wanted to do or what I might do after agility, and I kind of had 2 options. The first one was taking a break from rushing 99s and trying to go for 70 in all skills and then push for front page overall. This was appealing because it offered a whole bunch of different skills I could try, and front page seemed real fucking cool. And then the other option that I was weighing up was going straight for 99 Hunter, so that I could make a good chunk of money, and at the time I believed trim my agility cape, because I didn't actually understand how skill capes worked, and I was under the impression that each cape you got would trim the previous cape with the colours of the new one. And I said something about this and what my plans are in the CC I was in, and I quite promptly got called an absolute fucking retard and told that I had no idea what I was talking about, and that all the capes would just be trimmed from the first or from the second one onwards. So this was the first instance of me deciding not to do Hunter. And then for the rest of the agility, I sat around researching various methods to train my skills, wrote up a plan for it. The basic gist was I was going to start with farming and runecrafting. Farming because it would take a while and I didn't know what I was doing, and runecrafting because it would supply me with the money I needed for the rest of the skills. The only problem with this was that when I got to 70 runecrafting, I didn't really feel like stopping, and I just kind of kept going right to 99. And then once I got 99 runecrafting, I didn't really need to go and do any more money-making skills like Hunter, because I already had, the 350 or 400 mil, whatever I earned from doing double nats back in the day. So I did herb lore, I did smithing, and did magic straight afterwards, and then I wanted to try a cool new skill, so I wanted to go for Slayer, but I did fishing first, and then I did Slayer. And it was around this sort of point that my account started to look fairly sort of distinct. I had a decent handful of 99s and some pretty nice skills, but I still had the one hunter sitting there like a bit of a sore thumb, and especially because I didn't actually even know that the faq Museum quiz existed, so I didn't do that when I started Slayer. Then after I finished Slayer, I didn't really need to do Hunter straight away. I did woodcutting and mining next because I wanted to get the tough skills done. And also the other major factor at this point in time, so this was early 2014, sorry. Bot detection was fucking abysmal, and if you trained Hunter, you ran a fairly decent chance of just getting hit with a temp ban for 2 weeks. And seeing as I had just been hit with a temp ban for apparently botting just after I finished Slayer, I really wasn't in the mood to be hit with a permanent ban. So it was around about after woodcutting and mining that was sort of the breaking point for deciding not to train it, because at that stage, I'd finished mining and then I went straight and did a couple mil runecrafting XP to make more money for the rest of my buyable skills. Did those buyables and then quote unquote maxed in the middle of May. Yeah, this time there were about 10 or so other players maxed. So it was a pretty exclusive list, and I think I was ranked 26 or 27 at the time, and I missed out forever on my front page overall goal, but I did still feel like I'd accomplished something with what I'd done. And then from that point onwards, I never really had any actual serious thoughts of training hunter. To do so would have just ruined my account, and I wouldn't have gained anything from it. The only reason at the time that I was still sort of open to it, so like 2014, 15 sort of thing, the only reason you'd train hunter after maxing would be to make money, but why would I do hunter to make money when I didn't care about overall ranks and I could just runecraft to make more money an hour? And yeah, I guess those are the key sort of story reasons to why I never trained it. I have had some pretty aggressively invasive thoughts every year near the end of March about training hunter to level 2 as a bit of an April Fool's joke. Post a picture of it and people would assume that it was some sort of prank, but actually it wasn't, and I had trained it. There was definitely some potential for that to be very funny. But again, I just don't think it was worth ruining my pristine and beautiful account. I guess over the years I've seen other people assign a whole bunch of different reasons for it that I've never even considered. Like they've explained it for me. I'm not a vegan. I don't believe in animal rights. While I do think that hunter is the most poorly balanced skill in the game in terms of high level training, because you've got chins giving the most XP and chins giving the most GP, and then they added black chins which give even more GP and even more XP than red chins, which is just seriously fucking stupid. That still isn't enough reason to stop me from training it. I never had a plan to go out and gain a whole bunch of post 99 XP and skills and then suddenly appear on the front page, like what Lynx did with Ranged. I wasn't opposed to the Max Cape because that wasn't even out at the time, although it definitely has been a motivator to going forward not to train it, because I would hate to have the Max Cape. But all that sort of stuff is just bullshit. I've two major reasons overall. So number one, I didn't want to be banned by the shitty bot detection system because that would have sucked. And number two, it's just really funny. Look at this account. Look at that. It's all these 99s, all these post 99 XPs, and you got one. He's got the one hunter. I'm a hero to the repressed users who feel held down by the man. I provide validation to people's deepest, darkest desires. I think that not training hunter has overall just allowed me to enjoy the game more. It's meant that I do have, I've got a limited account. I am very limited, and not very limited, but I am partially limited in the content that I can complete, and I can very rarely train things in the most efficient ways possible. Now, this has left me a lot more open-minded than a lot of people in terms of being willing to do methods that are the best, but that I enjoy more. Because since quote-unquote maxing, I've basically not done anything that's actually efficient. The closest would be Ardoin with Imbue before the release of Achievement Diaries. And that would have only been a couple of months. So everything other than that has either been the best I can manage with the restrictions, or just me being a lazy fuckhead and taking the easy route. And I love that kind of stuff because I don't know, I'd rather go out of my way to enjoy the game than go out of my way to not enjoy the game. But yeah, that's sort of the hunter thing discussed. I did say that I was going to take some other questions. So got here from Pause. How do you view your place as the leading player in the One Hunter community? Great pride. So here are the other players in this community. I think you got level, you're free to play, Iron Man, another guy with One Hunter, fake free to play, and then 50. Yeah, I hold this position with great pride. It's something that it keeps me going every day, knowing that I can provide inspiration and motivation to other players who might not want to train a skill but still want to play the game. So anybody out there who feels this way, just stick to your guns and keep going. Oof, real motivative speaker here. We've got Trickle with its thoughts on player Trickle. That's a tough one, honestly, because it's a bit difficult to have thoughts on a player who hasn't really done anything. Like, I love to look at people's accounts who've maxed and then they've done like the basic maxed shit like Nightmare Zone, cooking, agility, and all just this other like basic brainless maxed shit. And although Trickle has not done the basic brainless maxed shit, he still has done the basic brainless shit by just following a pioneer in the game. So I can't really say that I have too many thoughts on player Trickle because there's not much to him. Voltu RS anime recommendations. What have I watched recently? Watched Tiger Mask W. It's a fantastic show. I love that. Gather Dude 7. What do you plan to do with your life after you log out of RS for the last time? I don't know. I'll log out. I'll just live the rest. Actually, no. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the fuck off. I'm going to go to oldschool.runescape.com, the high scores section, go to my page, print that off, laminate it, and then jack off onto it, and then I can just wipe it off and do it again later. It's going to be fucking sick. I've already got this one planned out, but other than that, I'm just gonna keep living the game of life, keep going hard at it. I've got some money saved up. I'll hopefully be upgrading my computer soon because it's a bit shocking. No graphics card running off onboard VGA at the moment. Not too happy about that, but yeah, that'll be good to play some actual video games rather than this shit heap. R32MX5, favorite/least favorite big update. Favorite, raids, maybe raids. I feel like it added something different to what we already had, but still maintain, apart from the twisted bow, because it's fucked. But the actual content of raids, I feel is very good. So I'll say raids, and then least favorite is the Grand Exchange for reasons I have ranted about enough in the past. Least favorite QOL update. Least favorite, the one I typically say is combining two pizza halves together to create a whole pizza. I understand that you do have to have 2 meat pizza halves or 2 pineapple pizza halves. You can't put a meat pizza with a pineapple pizza. It doesn't let you do that. But since the fact that the pizzas in game are a single solid item, they don't have like cuts in them. I don't understand how you can eat half of a pizza, eat another half of another pizza, and then just stick them together with nothing to actually like hold them together, and they'll just be another pizza. It doesn't work. So that one. And does not doing Hunter make you feel relevant? Yep, definitely does. I'm distinctive. I'm a special snowflake. I've got a fairly unique account, and it makes me feel very relevant and very important. Albert is back. Are you satisfied with the path you took in RS, or do you wish you would have approached some things differently? Yes and no. Given that I decided to go down the gather a shitloads of experience path, I'm quite happy with the skills I decided to do and how I decided to train them. I've enjoyed all of that. However, I think I could have enjoyed the game quite a bit if I'd kept playing a bit more casually and sort of done things more on a whim. I think I made a big mistake going for 99 agility and then 99 ring crafting early on, because I sort of got accustomed to long-term goals and long-term planning, and from that point onwards, I just sort of looked at everything else and went, "Oh, that won't take too long. Yeah, I've already done ring crafting. It won't take too long." And then I was stuck in that stasis point after maxing, where I got like 150 mil agility, and after doing that, you just look at everything else and think, "Oh, that won't take very long. I'll just do that." So I do kind of wish I hadn't gone for those 99s, but it's just a side effect of my fairly addictive personality sort of thing I've got going on. Help underscore. In your last video, you mentioned quitting. Couldn't tell if troll. Please elaborate. Yep. Got 4.7 mil fishing, a little bit of agility, and a little bit of strength, and a couple of imbues left to go, and then I'm out. I'm gone. Gainsborough RS. Best and worst mage update. I already answered that one. One thing from RS3 you'd like to see in old school. Should have read this beforehand so I could actually think, because I've played a decent enough amount. I'd like to see an item sync in the same way that Invention's done. I think that was good. I don't know how it would happen. Obviously, I can't be bothered thinking about how it happened because it's whatever. But even if it did come down to a new skill, I think an item sync definitely. That's very very well done. And top 5 to 200 mil all, not based on current top 5, but who will actually get there. Number 1, Lynx Titan, no questions. I don't really keep track of everybody else. I'm going to open up the high scores and have a look, even though this question asks me not to. But I think Jace and Razor, it's kind of hard to say. Those two won't be in the top 5 because they've both got so little to go, and they've both shown that they're willing to do skills. Danny's out. Sens, Omar, and Sean, I guess, are fairly close. Oscar, no. AJ, no. Randy, no. Dean Hio, if he doesn't fuck up in some way, might be up there. Trickle, no. Animos, no. Billig, no. Karma, probably not. Froggen, no. And then nobody else. beyond there. Who else is even high? Tom DeBomb, probably not. Who's on a high month or year at the moment? I don't know. I think it's getting to the stages where it's really difficult for someone to come out of the blue. Like if I look at top year, and this piece of shit slow Crystal Meth Labs website loads, Ardinio, probably. Delete. I don't know, I think, I may have to look at his stats, I think he's just done he's done Nightmare Zone, cooking, fire making, and agility. Like, how can you say anything about that? Karma, outside chance. Tom DeBomb, outside chances is no 4K year Binny, who's that pot too far behind. God Tormentor, I'm pretty sure he's burnt out. Sean Bay, probably. Ely, and then you're just getting into literally who's. So, what did I say? So I'm not going to count like Stipe because he's already winning. So I'll say one of Jace or Razor, one of those two, plus Sens, Omar. I don't know. I think Omar's still playing. He's doing like fishing. Sean and Ardinio if he can keep going. Joa OSRS, reason for not completing your 200 mil skills for so long. That's because I wanted to keep playing, and I've got like serious motivation issues in my life. So I've always felt like if I finished something, I would be very unwilling to keep playing. Like if I finished Max, I probably wouldn't have kept playing as much as I did. Or if I'd finished Agility straight away, I might have kept playing, but not as much. If I'd finished Fishing straight away, I really doubt I would have kept playing. If I'd finished Strength straight away, I don't think I really would have kept playing. So I've just sort of left them on the back burner for later, because I do kind of want to keep playing. Did kind of want to keep playing. So yeah, I put it off because I have motivation issues and I didn't want to finish anything. Levine OSRS, thoughts on current Slayer meta? I like the meta, but I don't like how high the numbers are. I like how I trained Slayer because I had a decent variety. I was doing barrage tasks, I was doing pure melee tasks, and I was doing active cannon tasks. I wasn't doing many short skip tasks, like I was doing extended dark beasts. I wasn't doing black dragons, and I've never done trolls. So I've never really done those like really shitty little skip tasks that I absolutely fucking hate and really, really disliked doing near the end of Slayer. I feel like that's something that needs to be fixed in the meta. It shouldn't be viable for someone to be able to do, an 18 black dragons task and have that be an efficient task, because it just feels quite reductive and it doesn't feel right. So that's my thoughts on the current Slayer meta. Best and worst skill in the game can be either skills you find fun/boring or skills that you objectively think are good/bad for the game regardless of how much you enjoy training them. Number one, as of yesterday, favourite would have been farming. I think I've said it before, but I absolutely adore old farming and how much it rewards players who know what they're doing and who pay attention. People who farm these days, who farm from this point onwards, will never know. Like what Itsk did cannot and will not ever be replicated. I think what he did with turn farming is the coolest and potentially the most difficult thing that anyone's done in the game because of just how reliably and intensely he did and how much of his life was just revolving around farming and his farm runs. So yeah, I love farming because it rewards the player who actually knows what they're doing, and while players who don't know what they're doing can still do it at a reasonable rate without being punished to a huge degree. I think it's a good balance. And worst skill in the game, I gotta say it, worst skill in the game's Hunter, because the balancing is fucking shit, and there's only one thing that's worth doing in the entire fucking game unless you want a pet, so definitely Hunter. Of all the integrity issues, which issue annoys you the most? I don't know if you call it an integrity issue, but just people voting yes to every fucking thing. Jesus, just vote no. And the final question, Firehawk723, can you update us on the Sick Nerd cosplay? Yep, I'm putting on the pounds, working on the pot belly. I think I've gained about 30 kgs since that first picture. So, I've just been going down to the fishy chip store, grabbing a pack every night. It's been pretty difficult because it's really hot here at the moment, so I've just been sweating a lot, but I want to have that bulk in place for the winter, and hopefully I can maintain it until November. So yeah, really working hard on that. Might actually find a bigger shirt as well, because the current Sick Nerd shirt I've got is getting a bit tight. And yeah, that's it. Probably see you guys maybe next weekend, maybe the weekend after that. It depends on how things go for final video. I'll post a video getting the 200 mils. It's exciting times ahead for King Bino.